Hey, what's up, guys? We're back again with the best deck in Clash Royale. If you look at the top 200, the most played deck archetype is always going to be Goblin Drill. There are a ton of different ways of outplaying your opponent and spreading them thin to find damage. And because you have a quick card cycle and very defensive cards, you're able to defend any push if you play it well enough. I'm going to be showing two different decks today, one with champions and one without. Both of them are consistently played in the top 10 in the world, and ASAP is always #1 in the world with at least one of them. I say at least one of them because sometimes he's #1 and 2 at the exact same time. So let's go jump right into the action and break down the best deck in Clash Royale. Thanks to everyone that's supporting the channel with creator code SirTag. The first deck of the day is free-to-play friendly without any champions, and it's essentially an upgraded version of Miner Wall Breakers. Where your opponent would usually ignore a Miner, they can never ignore a Goblin Drill. You can bait out the Valkyrie by dropping the Goblin Drill slightly further back, so they have to drop their Valkyrie in the back to finish off the goblins that spawn, and then you can go for wall breakers in front of the tower. A lot of times the wall breakers will connect and your opponent will be a super sad panda. Or you can drop your Goblin Drill in front of the tower and then use the splash damage of the bomber plus the fire spirit to get damage on your opponent's tower while they try to defend with their Dark Princes or Valkyries. There is nothing worse than feeling like you've defended the Goblin Drill push, only to finally figure out you've taken thousands of splash damage from the bomber and the fire spirit. This deck also has some of the best defenses in the game with Valkyrie, guards, and Inferno Tower. So bridge spam is never breaking through you unless you make mistakes. It's no surprise that a ton of top players like ASAP and Teabag love this deck, so let's go jump straight some games and assert dominance. Hey, so we got a game against Phoenix, bro. We are ready just to turn you into ashes and you are not going to get reincarnated. That's how this deck works. Or maybe you just get the worst possible card cycle and their opponent goes in for a Hog Rider and you don't have guards plus Fire Spirit and you don't also have Inferno Tower. So if you go for guards plus Fire Spirit, I firmly believe that the Hog Rider will never get a hit as long as you can drop the guards early. Wait, is that Valkyrie going to tank for the guard? Look at that damage. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, that is stupid. That is absolutely absurd. I probably just got 500 damage from a card that should not have been alive, but I'll take that. And then the Fire Spirit's going to jump onto the Knight. Oh my gosh, this is what I was talking about earlier. If your opponent tries to defend the Goblin Drill in front of the tower, you always get splash damage with the Bomber or the Fire Spirit, and it's a little bit broken. Despite this guy going in for 5 Elixir, it still wasn't enough. Also, since he doesn't have Login Cycle, I'm going to go and combat him with guards again just because I get more counter push here. And, oh wow, he's going to Earthquake. You want to go for the Goblin Drill here because the Goblin always spawns behind the Goblin Drill. So it's going to spawn in the back of the tower, whereas my units in front of the tower are going to force out Elixir there. So just a little bit better there. Also, I don't even know if the bomb tower is able to hit the Goblins immediately. Yeah, it didn't look like it was. So that was perfect placement. I'm not going to lie, that felt fantastic. So I'm going to go in for a Fire Spirit and then I'm going to Inferno Tower just because I'd rather not eat the damage when we're up so much. If you can guarantee a proper defense and double Elixir, you always want to go for a Inferno Tower. The reason is, you know that the Hog Rider isn't going to be able to break through. Even if they go in for an Earthquake, they have to drop something else with the Hog Rider to be able to break through Inferno Towers. Earthquake is only good against Teslas and maybe even cannons, but cannons you can drop it like right here and then get a Fire Spirit or something to pull, and then the Earthquake can't even hit it. So Earthquake is a really bad card with Hog Rider in most situations right now because it doesn't do enough spell damage to spell cycle people anymore, and it can't break through buildings like Inferno Tower. So that's one of the main reasons why I think Earthquake is just extremely underplayed, and makes sense. So maybe it's not that underplayed, it's just played the appropriate amount. Okay, so I can Fireball here to guarantee that we finish off the Queen, and I can Fire Spirit as well. Maybe he's going to go for a Hog Rider. We're going to have to wait and see. He does. They'll go for a really high Inferno Tower here. Should be fine. I don't think he's going to be able to get any damage here. And, oh, wait. Is the Knight going to die to the Inferno Tower? I don't want to drop anything. I just want him to go and cycle more spam into the Earthquake.
I fear no man, but that thing.
Wow, are you serious? Yeah, he is going to Earthquake. He didn't really drop more with the Earthquake, though. I was really hoping he would. All right, we're going to go Goblin Drill here because he doesn't have a Valkyrie. I can get the Fireball down depending on what he does. If he Knights and he's going to try to get that Knight hit, I'm going to try to time it so then the Knight doesn't hit the Goblins in time, so then the Goblin Drill would stay alive. I was hoping that would work out, but it doesn't matter. I'll go for Inferno Tower, and this is what I was talking about before. Even if you've got Earthquake, you don't break through the Inferno Tower, so it's a huge waste. You're going to get some spell damage on my tower, but it's basically like Fireballing my tower, you know? Like, it's not going to do too much. It's going to do like 200 damage. So I can go in for a Bomber here. Hopefully he drops some stuff nearby. He's going to Knight again. I think the guards are able to finish off the Archer Queen. Archer Queen is not able to do enough damage there, especially when she's not invisible. Now she goes invisible forever. How does that make you feel, buddy? Okay, I can go for a Valkyrie, or I want to go for another Inferno Tower. Usually just going for Inferno Towers in this situation, as I said before. You want to deny all damage, and for a -1 trade to deny all damage from the Hog Rider, it'll always be worth it, because you keep the damage lead that you have, and then you walk away with a win. That's what we're vibing with here. I'm going to Fireball. Hopefully we can mess up his log timing. Doesn't necessarily happen there, but it is what it is. I can go in for Guards plus Bomber, and I'm able to kill the Hog Rider, so we'll see if he decides to go for the Hog Rider immediately, or if he just drops it a little bit later. It's okay if he drops it a little bit later. I can go for the Inferno Tower here. Shuts down the Hog Rider first and foremost. It doesn't target the wrong thing. I want to Fire Spirit a little bit earlier now, so then we can force out some extra elixir in front that he doesn't want to drop. And then I can go for Wall Breakers here, so then we can bait out the Bomb Tower, because it's going to be a negative trade every single time. So if you go in for the Bomb Tower, you're going to be super sad, sir. I think he misses the Wall Breaker, and I think I win the game. So that's all it took, guys. Just wait for your opponent to make one slight slip up. If they're spread thin on elixir, they're never going to be able to get damage on you. So that's what we were vibing with here. I'm able to Fireball him out and walk away with a win. So GG, well played, and peace out, buddy. I love this deck for obvious reasons. If you're playing against Earthquake, they're never able to break through you. And Earthquake was one of the most dominant decks for a while, so a lot of people haven't leveled up. And all the other bridge spam decks are going to have trouble into the Valkyrie plus Guards. 26 trophies. Let's keep cruising through. Let's keep pushing up, baby. MW Wizard. What's up, dude? If you're actually running Wizard, I'm going to be so happy. I love playing against Wizard when we've got Goblin Drill Valkyrie, so I'm here for it. Oh, wait. Are you serious? You're going to go for your best counter to the Goblin Drill at the start of the game. I am so happy that that happened. I don't think that the Wall Breakers are going to connect, but it's still fine. He's going to Minor Bats and then show his entire deck to me. So he's revealed his trap cards. He's running a Minor Bats deck with Wall Breakers, Mortar. No Wall Breakers. Wow, I thought it would be Wall Breakers for sure, but yeah, no, this guy's maybe running Archer Queen with a fast cycle. That's what I'm expecting right now. So he's going to have the Archer Queen variation with Mortar. Pretty strong deck. I've seen it a lot. I'm going to go for a Bomber here so we can guarantee that we get damage on top of the Mortar. I don't know if it's worth it for us to go for the Goblin Drill, but I think he's going to try to defend with a Valkyrie. So if we can get the Goblin Drill to lock onto the tower and then get the splash damage from the Bomber, that would have been fantastic. But you guys saw that we made him purposely delay his stuff. Like, this man really wanted to go for the Valkyrie there, but he couldn't, because then the Bomber would splash onto the tower, dealing 300 damage. So what he had to do is he had to eat a couple Goblin hits before that, and that's how the deck works. You force opportunities out of your opponent. Like, he didn't want to give me that, but he had to pick whichever was the worst evil. And he was like, okay, I'm not going to deal with Mr. Man going for those Bomber hits. All right, do we follow up with another Goblin Drill in the back here? Because the bats are out of cycle. I don't know if he's going to log on top of the Bomber. So the Bomber should die to a log, so I don't want to spend too much elixir here. He might try to lower the HP of the Goblin Drill and then log everything at once. Wait, he's going to Mortar. Okay, I can Fire Spirit here. If you guys haven't done this, the Fire Spirit just baits out the Mortar shots and the Mortar misses. Oh my gosh, did you see the Wall Breakers hit the Valkyrie? Wait, no, did it not? I'm really confused. Did it hit the Valkyrie or no? I was trying to time it perfectly. Oh, come on, Clash Royale. I think I only hit one, and it barely even scratched her. That's ridiculous. So since I have guards, that's always going to be a vibe on top of the Miner. The bad thing is the bats. The bats are always going to shut down the Valkyrie or whatever I have counter pushing, so that's pretty annoying, to be honest. I might be able to get a Fireball here, depending on what happens. We're going to lose one of the guards, but the Goblins are going to get on the tower. Yeah, I want to Fireball this as quickly as I can, please. Hit the Fireball perfectly. Yeah, so the Goblins are going to get a ton of damage. I'm going to predict he's going to go for a Mortar, so I'm going to go in for the Inferno Tower. Wow, we are balling out here. This guy doesn't have Zap, so there's no way of resetting. I should be able to kill the Miner here, and then go in for another, I think he's going to go for, like, if I had to guess, he's going to go in for Bats on top of this. I want a Fire Spirit on it. And then hopefully the Fire Spirit off to the side is going to value. Yes, look at this. He has to go in for a Mortar, because if he goes in for anything else, we would have been able to get the connection, since the Wall Breakers were still alive and he didn't have log, right? So I can go for guards here. I'm hoping that I can get another Goblin Drill while this guy's playing very aggressive with a poison. I need a Fire Spirit as quickly as I can, because he's going to Bats. And I need to be able to kill that so then the Valkyrie stays alive. And then I'm going to go for a Fireball before he gets a Valkyrie down. Oh, he logs. But do we kill the Bats in time for the Valkyrie to connect to the tower? Might give us a hit.
You're fulfilling your destiny.
Yo, if that was old Valkyrie, would have gotten a hit for sure, my dudes. No cap. I just got dismantled by the fact that the Valkyrie got the nerf. You can run Dark Prince if you guys wanted to in this deck as well. Just want to throw that out there. If you don't know, now you know. I'm going to go for a Goblin Drill early, and then we'll see what this guy decides to do. Hopefully the Archer Queen doesn't have as much range as he's hoping for, so we'll see. I think the Bats aren't going to lock onto my tower. I can get a Valkyrie down here as well. I might be able to Fireball on everything. If I can hit the Valkyrie, that's super worth. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I do hit the Valkyrie. That's vibes. That is straight up vibes. Wow, I'm playing so well this game. I don't usually play this well. Let's get it. Oh, the Mortar hits my tower right when I say that. I literally curse myself, but I think I should be able to Fireball him out, so I will walk with a win. What an amazing game, guys. GG, well played, and peace out to our opponent. Pleasure playing against you. If you guys want to play a deck that is solid, this is definitely it. There is so much outplay potential every single way you look. You're going to be winning games if you play it better than your opponent. On to the next one. What's up, Sugar? We're going to sauce out a good luck and we're going to see what you're doing. Hopefully you're sweet and going to give me some juicy positive elixir trades, but I guess not. You're going to go in for a Spear Goblin Hut. I hate playing against that card because most of the time when people do that, they're going to be running either Graveyard Freeze, which is the epitome of no skill, or they're going to be whipping out some random stuff that I have never seen before with double spawners. Either situation, I guess we do have Fireball and Bomber, so I think I'm okay, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what this guy's going to have. I'm going to go for a Fire Spirit and a Goblin Drill. I just love doing this card combination. If the Fire Spirit can get in front and tank for the Goblin Drill, that's even better. I wasn't able to time it successfully. And he's going to have Royal Hogs, maybe? I don't know. When we see Royal Recruits, I'm assuming Royal Hogs, but maybe he's got something else planned for us. I'm going to get a Valkyrie down, and I can go for guards if I need to. I think I do. Ooh, that's a Ram Rider. What? Are you kidding me right now? This is a Ram Rider still after the nerf? Wow, that was definitely unexpected and really, really bad for me. Well played for our opponent. Credit where credit is due. If there was any card that I could have just said, hey, I'm not playing against that, it'd probably be like Golem or maybe Ram Rider. And this man had one of them. So if he whips out both of them, I would just be floored. All right, I can Fire Spirit. I can go in for Wall Breakers. Most of the time when you split your Wall Breakers, you're just going to get Goblin Hutted in the middle, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there it is. Pretty obvious. At least the Wall Breakers are able to connect. Wow, that was really ridiculous that we were able to finish this off. You want to let one of the Spear Goblins lock on. Otherwise, your Fire Spirit or Ice Spirit, or whatever spirit it is, it's not going to have a spirit anymore. It's going to get crushed by the Spear Goblins. So you got to make sure that you end up letting one of the spirits lock onto your tower before you do that. So this guy's got a Dirty Mirror deck. I think that the Bomber at least gives us one hit on the tower. And I think that's worth it. That's 300 damage. Forcing out arrows as well. That feels fantastic. So I want to get the Mega Minion out of sight, out of mind. I don't feel like I need to go for Wall Breakers here, but I will. I'm going to pull back the Mega Minion. Maybe it locks onto the Wall Breaker. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, we're going to get bar barreled anyway, so it didn't matter that much. Okay, so since he's got Ram Rider, the only thing I'm scared about is him having Lightning. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to break through the Inferno Tower. So what I'll do is I'll go for a Goblin Drill and a Fire Spirit. And the reason why this deck is so solid is because you don't really know what you're going to be playing against on ladder, ever. But for the most part, if you play this deck half competently, you're going to have solid defenses to everything. Even though I took a ton of damage at the start, we're still vibing here. I cycle my Bomber early on so I can get back to another one. I'm going to go for really high guards, and I'm going to follow up with an Inferno Tower a bit lower. And the reason why we cycle our Bomber early is because I can get back to another one without any issues or hesitation. I can get another Valkyrie on the map as well. So I don't have to defend this side as much. I definitely have to defend the left. If I'm counter pushing here, he's going to have to defend there first and foremost, and then he's not going to be able to defend the tower that I'm going towards. So split lane aggression against decks like Royal Recruits, if they don't have a much elixir for it, then I mean, you're still in an amazing spot, even if their cards do properly defend them. So that's what we're vibing with, just making sure that his elixir is very low. Cycling Bombers in every chance I get, and then, you know what? I don't even feel like I need to drop a building here. We're at 3,000 HP. Let's take our elixir advantage to the next level, and if I go in for the building, then I probably didn't have anything for the mirrored one too, right? So, yeah, it's just, you got to make sure that you pick your battles. You don't want to overcommit ever. I think that that doesn't do enough. Yeah, just two damage, man. That's all we need. So I guess I can Fireball first, and then go in for a Goblin Drill. The Goblin Drill does do spawn damage definitively on top of the tower, so I'm going to go for that, and I will walk away with a win. GG, well played, and good luck in the rest of your ladder session, man. But no matter what crazy bridge spam you got, we have every defense available. If you have every card unlocked, you want to be using the no-skill Skeleton King, especially in this stack. When you spam your opponents with Goblin Drills and Wall Breakers, a lot of times, it's going to help you if your opponent finishes them off. You're able to collect their souls with the Skeleton King and throw even more units back at your opponent. It's a never-ending cycle of spam. And a lot of times, I find myself being able to use Skeleton Army as a win condition because my opponent's already exhausted all their answers on top of the Wall Breakers or the Skeleton King mini graveyard. This is one of the easiest decks to overwhelm your opponents, so it's easy to see why top 200 players are always running this deck. Everywhere you look, you're going to be seeing this thing, especially in your nightmares. If I had to choose any deck to play right now for the next couple months, this would be it. ASAP is always #1 in the world on ladder and in global tournaments with this deck. So let's get right into the action and show you guys why this deck is so strong. Jumping into this game, winning every single game that you play is definitely the way, and hopefully that's what we're able to accomplish today. You never really know, but when you're running champions, your chances of winning should increase exponentially. If I have my calculations running, champions are one of those things that people just run in the top 200 and win a lot more games with. So this guy's going to have Hog Rider. You know, Usually playing against a Hog Rider deck won't be that many bait cards in it, but this guy's packing bats as well. I had to pull it towards my Inferno Tower with a Fire Spirit. If your opponent's going to go in for like Giant Double Prince or maybe Bats or Minion Horde, you always want to make sure that you always pull your opponent's units into your Inferno Tower and away from your other tower, because if it gets any chip damage, it's just like useless, you know? Might as well spend one Electro Spirit or Ice Spirit or Fire Spirit and make that happen. So since this guy's got Hog Rider, I think it's better for me to activate King Tower with this Dark Goblin. I wouldn't necessarily do this that often, but I think in this specific scenario, playing against a Hog Rider deck, sacrificing a 3 Elixir Dark Goblin for the better trade of the future, that's a vibe that I'll take every day of the week. I'm going to Skeleton Army on top of that, and then I might be able to get away with a Fire Spirit on top of the Bats. Since I activated King Tower, I don't think I'm in a compromised position. The Hog Rider is going to do damage, but it's not going to be as much as he had hoped. He would have gotten that extra hit with the Hog Rider if I hadn't activated King Tower with the earlier Dark Goblin. And the Dark Goblin sacrifice will be able to give me huge benefits for the rest of the game. And I can't wait to show you guys how this deck works in the late game, because I can cycle so many skeletons and always keep up the offense. No matter what I'm doing, my opponent won't have proper answers. Like, he's going to log, he's going to miss one of the wall breakers, and that almost connected to the tower. I thought it would, to be honest. We get Inferno Tower down, should be able to stop the Hog Rider and also finish off the Firecracker. And we're currently up damage now. I was in a bad spot for a little bit of time, but we've bounced back pretty quickly. Also, one other thing that I love doing is if you can defend with a Skeleton Army and then go in for a Skeleton King plus going in for a Goblin Drill, what will happen is your opponent will be forced, and I mean literally forced, to go in for a proper counter of the Skeleton Army, because, you know, like, they can't let that hit their tower. And when they do that, then the Goblin Drill plus the Skeleton King on offense will be able to pop off and win you the game. So you guys are going to see it right here. Skeleton King is able to get a lot of damage because my opponent doesn't have the proper answers. We're going to force out an Ice Golem, and then the Skeletons keep spawning to tank for the Dark Goblin. Dark Goblin's not even going to die. It's going to lock on a tower because that's how dumb it is. Like, you just have the Skeleton King constantly spawn distractions for the Dark Goblin, so the Dark Goblin never dies. I'm able to Fireball on top of the Firecracker. I don't think that any of the wall breakers break through, but can't say the same about the Goblins. They are assassinating every single angle and forcing out more Elixir than our opponent ever wanted to drop. I can go for Inferno Tower. As I said in the first game of the day, you always go Inferno Tower against Hog Rider in the late game. Like, at least in double Elixir, you never want to be without your Inferno Tower because it will shut it down. If they've got, maybe Lightning would be the only card that would allow them to break through. If they Fireball it or they go for an Earthquake, it's just a huge waste of Elixir. I'm able to Fireball this, and I think that the Goblins might be able to give us that last hit. Maybe not. I guess not. So, you know what? I'll just go for Inferno Tower. I'll cycle Fireball, and I'll walk away with a win. It's simply way easier to play Skeleton King or Champion, so if you guys have it unlocked, play this deck. There's a reason that Asaph is always #1 in the world, spamming Skeleton King and Wall Breakers because no opponent can properly stop it. And after that win, we are 8,000 in the world. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.